Welcome back. We are moments away from our Game 2 draft as Kinguin down 1-0, fighting for their tournament lives against FlyToMoon, the CIS stack that has impressed in Game 1. 3 out of silence, last 4 Chronospheres were solo onto the Visage of Nisha or the Lifestealer of Exotic Deer, as the core matchup goes strongly in favor of the CIS squad. Bringing in our panel once again. Let's talk about Kinguin because they have looked a little bit shaky at this event. We talked in the first couple of games about their draft. I'm not sure it was draft this time. This was to me more about the execution.
Yeah, their supports look very lost in the early game. The laning stage should go better for them, I feel, there. They've got very strong laners, Sand King, Rubik. They've have a safe lane dual lane as well that's pretty strong, so...
You bring up the supports, though. Maybe that does come back somewhat to one of our comments early on in the draft was that Rubik Disruptor combo maybe being a little bit passive in the laning phase?
Yeah, a bit passive, and then once you don't get anything done, they also very squishy, so they kind of get ran at and just dived, which is a problem, so it wasn't maybe the ideal support duo.
Yeah. To me, the big thing is I felt like it was very much an all-in type of play, right? And I think that we were mentioning upstairs that like it felt at one point as if they were sort of arguing about like one person wanted to go in for the Roche, the other person wanted to go and take the fight first.
Yeah.
It feels like there's this sort of like anxiety to get something done with this type of a draft, and then it means that everything comes around a little bit slower. Somebody, I remember who it was, mentioned an SF pick maybe as like another way to sort of get yourself an out, a late game opportunity.
Yeah, you need everyone on the same page. I think that Roche was a perfect example of that, where the Visage is the hero that always wants to go for Roche and always knows that his hero is strong and can kill Roche, but then the supports maybe don't understand like quite how easily the Visage can kill Roche, or they see an opening to get heroes, and it's the Visage that needs to understand these kills are more important than Roche, which I think was actually the case. Sand King Blink stuns someone in Visages, it's still in the Roche pit rather than helping finish off that kill.
Yeah, very much agreed. And I think when you're a team, as we were talking in the open about Kinguin maybe being on a downward trajectory here, I think when you're a team that's having those kinds of issues, you go back to basics and you go back to your iconic play style, which is that 4 protect 1 with Nisha on the harder farming carry. It's very unusual that you would see them put Nisha on an early game focused hero like the Visage.
Maybe again wanting to like respond to the patch or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you could potentially say there, and I think that it's kind of like I like the idea of having drafts that have outs for being able to play into the later game, and it really felt like this one didn't have that. But maybe you executed and it looks amazing. Maybe a couple things changed and ends up looking different. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the checklist was all there. It's easy to point to the Visage because the Lifestealer got his radiance at a reasonable time. The Sand King Blink Dagger was online at 13 minutes, and you saw the early triple kill there on Patos. He was doing his job, and it does come down to the Visage missing his timing window and maybe the early passivity of the supports.
I think the good comparison to make with in terms of the draft, if that's EG's playing Kinguin's draft, game is won in 20 minutes. I would say that's like an 80% favorite EG draft if they draft that draft against like a team of equal skill to them. Maybe it's not a Kinguin comfort draft. They have played the Visage going way back, but the draft was, to me, not at all the problem. The execution was the huge problem. Yeah,
and I feel like when you draft that kind of lineup and put yourself on a timer, those early game situations where you may be on different pages, those really get magnified, right? They kind of resound through the rest of the game. So, going into Game 2, big adjustments. What do you want to see Kinguin do differently? Just to play better Dota?
Yeah, I think we're past the point of just talking about drafting. We've got to talk about Kinguin just making better moves in the early game, securing their lanes more. Supports need to have a much clearer purpose about what they want to do, what they want to achieve in that first 5 to 10 minutes of the game. Which lanes are they winning? Which lanes are they ganking? When are they grouping up to smoke? They just need to have a lot more clear direction.
Maybe also you like have those initial movements out across the map, like go for a smoke play or something, stay together, because that pickoff, we talked about it, that kind of set the tone for the mid lane the rest of the way. If OD gets that, maybe doesn't get that first blood, maybe the rest of the draft looks better as well. So possibly like playing a little bit more safe when you get those initial wards out there. Maybe go for a smoke gank of your own, try and run into the enemy's jungle and steal theirs away. It could be another thing to do.
I like that, because they also